Hello, this is Melody Grafton and I will be doing a quick review on basic macroeconomics. I will begin with real gross domestic product, which is defined as the output of goods and services produced by labor and property located inside the United States, adjusted for inflation. Our nation's GDP decreased by 0.1% in the fourth quarter of 2012. This was the first contraction since 2009, and although this may seem like a bad thing, economists say that this is temporary and that GDP will most likely increase in the future. In order to see how the economy is doing, you must first understand unemployment. Being unemployed is defined as not having a job, but actively looking for work. This means within the last 4 weeks, you have either submitted a job application or gone in for an interview. You must also be part of the labor force, meaning that you have to be above the age 16, non-institutionalized, non-military, and you must work no more than 1 hour per week. Unemployment has been decreasing over the past several years. As of February 2013, the unemployment rate was 7.9%. A steady unemployment rate in the U.S. is 5%, which includes all of the structurally and frictionally unemployed people. The rest of the unemployment is due to cyclical unemployment, which is not ideal, and these are jobs that have been lost due to a downturn in the economy. Here's a graph of aggregate supply and aggregate demand. When aggregate demand decreases, price level and output both go down, and unemployment increases. When aggregate supply decreases, price level increases, output decreases, and unemployment increases. When aggregate supply or aggregate demand decreases, we enter what is called a recessionary gap, meaning that we are producing at a level less than our potential. When aggregate supply or aggregate demand increases, we enter into what is called an inflationary gap, meaning that we're producing more than our potential. Although this seems like a good thing, it is unsustainable in the long run. Our economy is currently in a recessionary gap. In 2008, the stock market crashed, which put us in a recessionary gap, meaning that the price level and the output decreased and the unemployment increased, and we are producing at a level lower than our potential. Although our economy has improved, we still remain in a recessionary gap. When the economy is in a recessionary gap, the government can either decrease taxes or increase government spending in order to increase aggregate demand, which will bring us out of the recessionary gap sooner than if nothing was done. In 2009, President Obama started a stimulus package in order to combat the recession. This package decreased taxes by $288 billion and increased $224 billion of government spending on unemployment benefits, education, and health care. It also increased government spending by $275 billion for job creation. This went over better than planned and saved around 600,000 jobs. The fiscal cliff is an increase in taxes and decrease in government spending proposed to occur on January 1, 2013. Although it has been avoided temporarily, Democrats and Republicans are still divided on how to come up with a long-term solution to avoid the fiscal cliff. The main difference between Obama and Boehner's proposals revolve around government spending. Boehner believes that we should cut spending in order to help reduce the deficit, and Obama doesn't want to cut spending for fear that it will cause many jobs to be lost. Both of their ideas are valid in theory. It is true that a decrease in government spending would lead to a decrease in aggregate demand, which would also lead to a larger recessionary gap, increasing unemployment. But on the other hand, it's true that our deficit has gotten extremely large and that something needs to be done in order to stop it from increasing even more. The U.S. national debt has skyrocketed over the years. The current deficit is $16.7 trillion and increasing every day. The majority of this deficit is caused by an excess in government spending. Obama's plan to increase government spending would help the economy in the short run, but in the long run it would increase the deficit, which would hurt us. Boehner, on the other hand, his idea to decrease government spending would hurt us in the short run, but it would help us in the long run by reducing the deficit. So it is hard to decide which plan is better. Obama and Boehner are both still debating what should be done, so we are all just going to have to wait and see what happens in the future to the economy.